I suppose it's your fault we're all here this morning.
I agree, because it's gone well.
It's gone well.
I know how to look backwards.
Yeah. Now, you, I mean, Anne mentioned this, your small business reports led directly to the Small Business Charter in 2014. Today, 55 accredited schools. I think that is right. It seems to be growing by the moment. I've never got this figure right. How do you reflect on it in terms of the position of business schools as, I suppose, this potential great asset for small firms?
Yeah. Well, Michael, pardon me, the one question that I learned a long time ago in politics, forget the question, give the answer you want. So I'm going to answer.
Pay no attention to it.
Why did I think of business schools? Well, I left school at 16 to go into a solicitor's office. I qualified as a solicitor, hated it, was offered a job by the most entrepreneurial business at that time, Great Universal Stores, worked there for 5 years, ran parts of the group, decided I wanted to work for myself, raised the money, started, and realized I knew nothing. In the old days, if you wanted a cash flow, they'd provide you with a cash flow. In the old days, if you wanted other things, other people did it. And then one day, I survived at the cost of quite a number of sleepless nights, but we built up a group. And then I realized that if I'd have had the opportunity to do what this program does, not only would I live to be a happy old man, but I would have had so much more sleep in my life. It really would have gone a different way. And there I saw the business schools all around the country training executives for large companies. By then we knew that businesses were organic, they had a growth period, they prospered, and they died. And hardly any businesses of my young days still survive today. And so this was a real resource. And I would just make one request of Anne now. Please don't tell us anymore how many are members. Please tell us how many are not members, because that's the key figure that we should be working on, because frankly, every business school should be interacting locally.
Mm. Now, I remember listening to you talk about the Bolton report in the 70s, which gave a very grim prognosis about the future of small firms. Yeah. Of course, in many respects, we've become a small firm economy. When you reflect at I suppose, the potential about where this might go next, how do you rate it?
Well, we're going to continue to be a small firm economy because technology has made large firms small. I've seen businesses run in the last few years in which they don't have offices anymore, in which they don't even live in the same country anymore, but they work much more closely together. Now, life's about a pendulum. It goes from one way to the other. I'm sure the idea of working from home will soon go back the other way, but there'll be a balance in the middle. The great thing we have to do is realize that if we don't develop more small firms, if we don't, really the government's job is to create the climate that is conducive to more small firms, the economy will die in the long term. There is nothing in the future now that says that things are not going to change. New technology, who knows? Maybe they won't be delivering goods by van anymore, it will be by little helicopters, or maybe it'll transport it. Who knows what the future will really bring? We have to keep an open mind. And through the schools, I think we'll give the building blocks, and then we should give everybody the opportunity. Now,
one of the things that I guess came out of the Chartered Association of Business Schools charter, Mark, was us, the Small Business Charter. Yeah. And of course, when you were envisaging it, it was there as a gold standard for enterprise support and enterprise activism of business schools. Yeah. Of course, now it's a delivery program as well with Help to Grow management. And I just wondered about your reflections on the course, having listened to the discussion this morning, and your sense of its potential as a real accelerator for UK enterprise?
Yeah, I think it's a good start. I mean, but never ever be satisfied. There are so many people out there who are learning, as I learned, the hard way. It's a very effective way of learning, because if you make mistakes, you don't forget them. And indeed, probably, if I hadn't made those mistakes, I'd have made others. But nothing takes away from giving people the building blocks, the very simple set of rules. It's not complex, it's common sense, but it doesn't occur to you until you've actually learned about it.
But I suppose, I mean, going back to the first question, which you skillfully didn't answer, David, I mean, about the role of business schools, I suppose there is a point that Help to Grow also repositions the schools themselves. It's not just about what the schools are doing for entrepreneurs, but actually what it can be for business schools in terms of being part of an entrepreneurial economy, part of an entrepreneurial sort of future.
Well, only part of the economy is entrepreneurial. God help us if we were all entrepreneurs. But the business school should be more than just situated in a locality. It's got to be part of the life of the locality. And there is nothing closer to the life than the business community that's operating, giving jobs and doing things. And I would like the time to come where people will think it's fairly automatic that you go in, whatever your job is, whatever you're really doing, that you go in and learn the ABC of business, which is simply that. And when you come out the other end of the course, you'll think, oh, that was common sense. It is common sense, but it's common sense that's not that common.
Right, I mean, quite right. Now, you've got an amazing audience here.
I have.
And one of the things we want to do is motivate people this morning to think about Help to Grow management in terms of how they might get involved and how they might promote it to their own networks. What's an inspiring rallying call to them, or can you provide us with one?
Well, yes. We talk of levelling up. Well, that's just a phrase, an expression. What we've really got to do is rediscover, which this country is famous for, the spirit, entrepreneurial spirit, which has so transformed the southern half of the country, and it's really now got to be spread around the whole country. It's not just about making money, it's about satisfaction with your purpose in life. It's really about a sense of achievement. It's really about helping your community to go. And there's only one request I would make of each and every, in fact, two requests. One is mentor where you can, because nothing works better. I've mentored quite a few people in life, and it's paid back in so many different ways. The second thing is, if you're in business yourself, make one promise, that when the time comes that you've got the time, take one or two people under your wing and help them develop their business for themselves.
Good answer. Good answer. I interviewed you on your last day as David Cameron's enterprise advisor. You were distinguished by having the only other office in Downing Street apart from the Prime Minister, I understand. Yeah. But I asked you this question. I said, what do you define your career as? Politician, entrepreneur, and you answered mixed up.
Jack of all trades.
Right. So give us your reflections. We've got a few seconds left in terms of, I guess, this landscape that you have been so important in helping to inspire and support. In terms of your views about that future, I'd like to finish with Charlotte's question. What's the advice you'd give your younger self if you were starting all again today? Young advice for young.
Well, you can't start again because you've been changed by your own experience. But I would say to anybody starting today, look for opportunities like Help to Grow. Look for opportunities of asking for advice. And at the end of the day, it's up to you. Take advice where you can, and certainly come on the course. If they'd have paid me, the government had actually paid me to go on a course, I could have been a success. Who knows?
Ladies and gentlemen, Lord Young. Thank you, David. Thanks very much.